we're in a situation where we don't know exactly what the data are telling us. So we're kind of trying to get our arms around understanding what the numbers look like. And then we don't definitely know if the numbers are down, why.
Yeah, so we have a sort of quantitative piece here, namely that Counterpoint Research, reported by our colleagues in Asia on the news side, they are saying that sales of Apple's flagship device are down 4.5% compared with the year earlier period. Now, that is unit sales, not necessarily revenue. So if the mix is towards the higher end, that may not necessarily be catastrophic for Apple's earnings. We have seen a slowing of sales in China. It's not really dropped significantly, but if you look at trailing 12-month sales, there has certainly been a flattening. The key question is whether this is to do with a sort of resurgence of Chinese nationalism and a real gusto going behind Huawei's new headline device, which may not be able to maybe able to manufacture that many units, but is that something that's taking chunks out of Apple? Or secondly, is it just the Chinese economy? And if it's just the Chinese economy, then if that economy recovers, Apple will recover too.
So Ed, what say you? Because it could really go in many different directions on this. But clearly, anything luxury in China is tough right now. What do you think?
It's kind of a confluence of the macro story Guy was talking about and the market story that Alex is talking about, right? Counterpoint's conclusion is that it is the Chinese economy. And what's analogous between Apple and LVMH is, you know, there is still growth in China. We get GDP print on Wednesday, which is expected to show a modest uptick in growth quarter on quarter, 4.5% growth on an annualized basis, which is below Beijing's target of 5%. But the stories within that are the markets where your iPhone buyers are the same as those shopping LVMH or going over to Hong Kong and shopping Hermes, right? Which is youth unemployment is still very high in China. There has been a psychological shift in the younger Chinese consumer from buying luxury goods to spending on experiences, just like we see here in North America and in Europe. One note of caution on the Counterpoint data, though, is that figure, 4.5% drop over the first 17 days since iPhone 15 launch, is an aggregate of all the variants, 15, 15 Plus, and the 2 Pro models. And historically, Chinese buyers have been driven by technology upgrades, which the Pro and Pro Max tend to have, raising ASPs and revenues, even as Alex points out, if unit sales fall or plateau off. And so Apple always surprises us with China, and that's worth bearing in mind.